Hello and welcome to this Kiwi Bred special. It is indeed the road to Karaka. It's hard to believe that New Zealand Bloodstock's sales series kicks off in just a few days' time, with the premier sale getting underway at New Zealand Bloodstock's Karaka venue on Monday the 28th of January. In this program in the next hour, join me as we look at some of the very best of our New Zealand yearlings, our New Zealand bred yearlings heading towards the Karaka Premier Sale. We'll also catch up on some of the serious contenders looking for glory on the eve of the sale at the Karaka Million for 2013. But first we catch up with Patria Vella, the Managing Director Sales and Marketing of New Zealand Bloodstock, for her thoughts on the strength of our Premier catalogue. Well, Patria, with just a few days now to go until the Premier sale kicks off, tell us your expectations.
Well, look, I think we're pretty well placed this year to capture any demand that might be around. The performance of New Zealand horses around the world has obviously been a highlight and shows the real strength that of the horses that we have to offer at the sale. Combined with the actual horses that we've got catalogued this year, the selection on offer, we're thrilled with the catalogues and the strength of the size selection and the individuals as we're getting reports from the road. For the international buyers, obviously the exchange rate is hugely in our favour, and it's important then for us that people trust and enjoy the sales process at New Zealand. In New Zealand, that's important for us as well, and so we're busy putting on a good show.
As you always do. Well, let's talk about the catalogue for a moment, particularly the Premier sale, 441 lots catalogued. How would you describe it, your thoughts on its strength?
Well, it's smaller in numbers than last year. That was deliberate. We've tried to preserve a true premier quality to the offering. It also means we go back to an 11 o'clock start time, an hour later than last year. And we're very, very happy with the selection. We've got a good spread of those New Zealand sires that people come down to New Zealand for, Zabeel and O'Reilly and Pentyre and Pins, and then the Savabils and Darcys and so on. And also a very strong selection of Australian sires, a great representation from Fastnet Rock, High Chaparral, obviously a great cross with those New Zealand families, and we've been very well supported with High Chaparral yearlings again, and the list goes on. So as a lineup, we're very happy.
Well, Patria, you talked about the exchange rate. Obviously that does work in favour of the international buyers. Is New Zealand Bloodstock expecting a very strong showing, an international buying bench?
We are expecting a strong international buying bench, particularly from Australia, which is our biggest export market. Australia spent about 32 million at the sale last year, and overall international buyers accounted for about 65% of the turnover, so they're a very powerful force over sales week for us. But then in Hong Kong, New Zealand horses won 8 of the 11 champion awards. They won about 45% of the stakes races in Singapore, so you know, those sorts of results inspire those buyers to come back, so we'll be looking forward to some good support.
Well, it's great to know that we do have such international interest. People love coming to Karaka from all over the world, we know that, but it's equally as important to you, I know, that the New Zealand buying bench is strong.
Absolutely, we need a strong domestic market. We want good horses to be staying home and racing, and those local buyers are extremely important to the sale. The strength of the ready-to-run sale for us is is a big fillip for the yearling sales. Hopefully it'll give those pin hookers confidence to come back, particularly in the select and festival sessions. And we've got promises of increased stake money through fillies and mares racing throughout the country. So hopefully there's some good points for local buyers as well.
What have results been like from other sales internationally leading into your sale?
Well, we always have our eye on the sales before Karaka because they're a barometer for the strength of the market. And just home from the Gold Coast, and demand was pretty solid there, so that gives us some heart that there'll be good demand again at Karaka.
And of course you did mention too the international stars with New Zealand bred beside their name that we've seen on the international stage. What have been some of the highlights that you can personally think of in the last 12 months?
Look, we're so proud of any of those horses that are performing on the world stage in particular because the competition is so tough. The Royal Ascot Double, that was an absolute highlight. That's in front of the world's best. So that was probably one that we were thrilled with. But across the Tasman, where the competition is so strong, it's important for us that we make a mark, and we had a horse like Ocean Park win the Cox Plate this season, but he's the 5th of the last 6 6 Cox Plate winners for New Zealand. So there's a legacy of success as well as just the past season.
Well, of course, the stage is set now. Roll on opening day of the Premier Sale, but you have a busy night the night before with the Karaka Million.
That's right. Gosh, that's turned into an enormous night. It's a great way to kick off sales week, I think. I'm entirely biased, but it's a great race day. It's just short and sharp, 6 races, starts at 5 p.m. It's got the $1 million feature race, and hopefully it's a great way to welcome everybody to New Zealand.
Well, our thanks to Patria Vella joining us here at New Zealand Bloodstock's Karaka complex. Well, there's no doubt about it, Cambridge Stud has a phenomenal record here at Karaka. Sir Patrick Hogan and Lady Justine Hogan Stud has been the leading vendor on aggregate for an incredible 31 years. And of course, much of that is down to their wonderful resident stallion in Zabeel, a legend in his own lifetime and in ours. He has sired an incredible 42 individual Group 1 winners, and there's no question he has been a dominant force throughout the Australasian breeding industry. Once again this year in 2013, we do expect Zabeel's progeny to be eagerly sought after. The winner of 15 Dewar Awards, Zabeel has been crowned champion sire in both New Zealand and Australia, and more recently his daughters have stamped their mark on the New Zealand breeding industry, with Zabeel being named the champion broodmare sire in New Zealand and Australia for the 2011-2012 season. We begin our preview by showcasing some of the top Zabeel yearlings lining up in this year's New Zealand Bloodstock sale. Lot 122, a Zabeel Extreme filly.
Of all the fillies that you see today, she's like your Oaks filly. She's eloquent, she's got a lovely walk, she's got staying qualities about her, and she's very similar to Mum, and she's a real classic filly. This mare's left, even a second foal, is a very good type, so you know, for a first foal to have the presence like this filly has is very good.
Lot 191, the Zabeel Jazzella filly.
This filly's just like Mum. Mum should have been a multiple Group 1 winner. This filly's strong, same attitude as Mum, and big, scopy, walks. You know, she's almost like a colt, and her mother's the same, and I really like her. She's just got that toughness about her, so she'd be very appealing to a lot of buyers. It's an interesting cross, Zabeel with Black Minaloosh, with a Stormcat cross and that, so genetically there's an interesting cross, but she's got a great attitude and she just takes everything in the stride. She's a special horse.
Lot 216, the Zabeel out of La Etoile filly.
Genetically this is meant to be the cross, the double up of Nureyev, but if you didn't think she was by Zabeel, she looks like a very good Stravinsky type of horse with the muscle and everything else, and she's just eloquent. She's your real autumn, spring classic type of filly. All the good judges like her. She's got a great presence with a head and short cannon. You know, she's just a very, very smart type. She's the glamorous one of all the girls you'll see, because she's got the muscle and the precociousness, and that will put her in front of the other fillies with that sort of physicality. But she's a good walking filly, so you know she could run it too.
Lot 299, the Zabeel Prized Gem Colt.
He's probably one of the best types that Prize Gems left, and we've had the all her progeny here and growing here, and the owners have raced them accordingly, and the family's done very well with Judicats, and of course Nom de Jour's first crop of yearlings are very nice too, which is quite exciting for this guy in the future. But he's probably one of the best types she's left, because she's a narrow, skinny type of mare, but he's a very nice colt. He's a Derby horse. He's got a bit more strength than most of Prize Gems yearlings do at this stage. Then they develop once they get older. He's x-rayed well and everything, so look, he's going to be a nice horse.
Lot 332, the Zabeel Sea Change Colt.
I think probably he's got more scope and more length and a little bit more Zabeel about him than the first one, and of course the first one, as you know, was a 5th of December foal, and so he was very young when he went through the ring. This one of course is a September foal, so he's a big boy with plenty of stretch, and I just think his walk and his attitude, he's a very correct horse, and he just has those good Zabeel attributes that I think the buyers are looking for. she was a champion, highest rated sprinting mare on turf in the world in 2008, and as you know, 7 Group 1s, and she was racing against Darcy Brahma, and they were 2 world-class horses, and of course Zabeel himself has been the greatest sire in New Zealand in the last 20 years, so he's got everything really. Look, he's going to be one of the better colts in the sale, I'm sure of that. I don't go to yearling sales with great expectations. I find you get very disappointed, but you know, I'll be surprised if he didn't make around the same money as the first one, and if he did that, I'd be very happy.
Lot 416 is the Zabeel Veloce Bella filly.
Look, she's a little, she's not little, she's a medium-sized filly. Another filly, genetically an interesting cross, Zabeel with Voltrad. She's very strong, she's developing, great attitude. Look, she could walk anywhere. To me, she's one of the special fillies of the draft, and that family's had winners in Singapore and in Australia. We own she's owned by some good clients of ours, and with a family that's on the move, she's a filly that will be very well sought after. Patrick wanted to get some good young Group 1 mares to keep the horse going, and Veloce Bella, she's one of the toughest race mares that we've had, and her next foal's a nice foal, and you know, this filly to me is a very interesting filly, and I think with the family the way it's going, if you were wanting to buy a blue chip filly that's got some residual going forward, this filly's family and her would be a very good investment for a stud farm.
Lot 430, the Zabeel Worship colt.
Look, he's related to precedence, he's from a very nice family. This colt arrived to us, he's just developed the whole time, and I put him on the list because he's just muscling up, and when horses really do well on their prep, he will fly under the radar and he will sell himself well above his pedigree because he's a great type, and he's a narrow Zabeel, similar to the prize gem, and he's a great walking horse, and you know, the sort of horse that Bart Cummings or one of those, he's just a classic colt.
Well, Zabeel, who began stud duties in 1991, will be well represented across the Premier catalogues 2 days with 44 yearlings. Since its inception in 2008, there has been a crown in New Zealand for the 2-year-olds that has become keenly and enthusiastically sought after. I am speaking about the Karaka Million, which takes place on the eve of the Premier sale. It is, of course, a race that has lots of interest from around the country as the 2-year-olds vie for the important prize money, which will see them make the order of entry, the top 14 runners to take their place. It is a New Zealand Bloodstock incentive race because, of course, those running in the race can only take their place if they have come through the National Sales Series. In Kiwi Bred, we thought that it was important that we took a closer look at some of the New Zealand bred contenders, starting with Paul and Chris Shaler's Fantastic Honour. Fantastic Honour was purchased for $80,000 from Bradbury Park's 2012 Select Yearling Draft. The Any Suggestion filly is out of the Cape Cross mare, Accidentally in Love.
So I thought she had great bone, she had a great attitude, and I really liked her walk. She had a lovely loose walk, and that was what's pretty much sold me. She was bought for this race, and albeit she's probably going to be a better 3-year-old than she was 2-year-old, but we were always targeting this race, and lucky enough at the moment we're going to get there. I just think she's got a lot of raw ability. I think her attitude and her constitution has got a lot to do with it, and I think that sort of holds her in good stead for a 2-year-old campaign.
Around the corner they come in the first, 350 to go. The leader, Dreamer, on the inside, tackled by, coming after it quickly now to take the lead as they come down the straight was Keep Her Hot, about 2 lengths away. Here's Fantastic Honour, the favourite now putting in. Back and behind these two's not enough. Dreamer on the inside, Fantastic Honour on the outside's got the lead though. Still there is Keep Her Hot. Fantastic Honour makes it 2 from 2. Fantastic Honour won it.
I couldn't be happier with her. I wouldn't trade my horse for any other horse in the race, and you know, we might not win it, but I'm confident that she'll run very, very well, and I'm just really happy to have her there. She'll put her best foot forward, and I think we've got the right horse to win the race, and but you also need a lot of luck in a race like that.